For years, the PlayStation community have been saying that Xbox has no games. For years, these ponies have been saying that no one wants Xbox games. Ponies, am I lying? Didn't you say that Xbox has no games?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Ponies! I'm not talking about any principalities and powers. You guys are lying. You guys said that for years. But now, because you are seeing that all you are getting for the remaining of the year is Lego and Astrobot, we are not going to mention the game of generation, Concord. Now, all of a sudden, you guys are port begging. You guys are begging for Xbox games now. Isn't that a shame? I would have never believed I would have seen the day when these ponies are now admitting that Xbox games are better than PlayStation games, so much so that they are begging and hoping that it comes to the PlayStation 5. And which game are they begging for today? They are begging for Gears of War ED. You see, all over Twitter, the ponies have found some sort of LinkedIn job application or requesting for workers, and they would have seen that, there's something talking about PlayStation there. And that means that Gears of War ED is coming to PlayStation, releasing day and date with the PlayStation platform. But let's teach these ponies how to comprehend again. When these ponies get all high and mighty with their beliefs, this is where we come in. We come in and we discipline these ponies so that, they can go back in their place and really help them to see that their comprehension level is lacking a bit. But no one is perfect, so let's discipline these ponies so them to understand what they are really saying and what they are really seeing. In the meantime, these ponies are still talking about Game Pass is not being sustainable.
Sustainability or not of Game Pass, and people have been busting balls or whatever, and it's not sustainable as the way it was, obviously, or they wouldn't have made any changes. The people that are arguing about this on this hill still are like Japanese soldiers in the Philippines Islands in the 1970s, where they had to send old Japanese World War II generals to the islands to be like, guys, the war is over. It really is over. You can come out of the woods now. We're going to bring you back home. We don't have to fight anymore.
So, Colin, using your same logic, would you say that PlayStation also had to change their model, seeing that they would have, for the first time, port a PlayStation game to Nintendo? Would we say that PlayStation is a failure for changing their model? Using your same argument, Colin, would you say that PlayStation changed their model to provide day-and-date games on PC now? Would you say that is also a failure or a change there, Colin? You see? So these guys here are busy talking about Game Pass is not sustainable, but they are not talking about how PlayStation 2 attempts to bring live services games to the masses with Helldivers 2 and now with Concord is looking like it's going to fail. Helldivers 2, 90% of their player base is gone. And Concord is looking like it had a very, very rough start. Only a max player base of 1,000 persons came to play that game. And that player count dropped quicker than these pony sugar level when we see that it only had just over 200 persons playing Concord beta at one point in time. What a shame. What a shame. PlayStation is saying that games as a service is the future, but we are seeing very clear that this model here is failing. It is not sustainable. But these ponies won't talk about it. But today we are not going to continue to talk about Concord and these ponies being hypocrites. No, we did enough of that. Today, however, we'll speak about how these PlayStation fans are now begging for Xbox games. We'll also talk about layoffs at Microsoft. We'll even have a little few other stories here and there. So you know what? Let's get it!
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. So before we start the video, if you are new around here, stay true around here. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get Xbox news, you will get a little sprinkle of Nintendo, and of course, Sony pony salt. So do your boy a favor if this type of content interests you, and subscribe today. Now let's get back to the video. So first up, let's talk about layoffs. There are some new reports that Microsoft would have laid off an entire team. They call them the DEI team. Now, what does this DEI team do? What does DEI mean? It means this. Well, it means diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, encompasses the symbiotic relationship, philosophy, and culture of acknowledging, embracing, supporting, and accepting those of all racial, sexual, gender, religious, and socio-economic backgrounds, among other differentiator. So let's listen to see what occurred with this particular team, and then we'll talk about it.
Microsoft laid off a DEI team, and its lead wrote an internal email blasting how DEI is no longer business critical. After Microsoft laid off an internal team focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, a team leader blasted the company for a lack of investment in these efforts. True systems change work associated with DEI programs everywhere are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020, a leader of the team wrote in an email sent to thousands of employees, which was viewed by Business Insider. The email says the team was eliminated because of changing business needs as of July 1st. It's unclear how many employees were affected. The team leader, whose identity By has confirmed, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Many technology companies, including Microsoft, made commitments to improve diversity efforts after the 2020 murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer and the historic protests that followed. In 2020, Microsoft pledged to double the number of black leaders within the company by 2025. The company's progress on this pledge is also unclear. Despite those commitments, many tech companies have appeared to retreat somewhat from diversity efforts. Zoom laid off a DEI-focused team earlier this year, Bloomberg reported. Google and Meta also cut DEI programs last year, according to CNBC. Our D&I commitments remain unchanged, a Microsoft spokesperson, Jeff Jones, said in a statement. Our focus on diversity and inclusion is unwavering and we are holding firm on our expectations, prioritizing accountability, and continuing to focus on this work.
So there you have it. Now my take on this is very simple. I'm old school. A person should not be put in a position in any job because of their gender or the color of their skin. The question any leader should be asking is if the person is competent enough and if they are qualified to do the job. No one wants to promote someone because of those factors, and it's very clear for years persons would have been able to produce games, studios would have been able to make games, and they didn't have this type of team working alongside them. And I mean, for all the years games have been being played and made, we had magnificent games, and that particular team was not there. So if it is since 2020 we didn't see an improvement in games, we didn't see games that are played better than the generations before, then why are they there, right? So we are all for promoting whoever, whatever race, whatever gender. If they are able to do the job, if they are able to make the game fun, then put them in that position. Other than that, we are seeing that the industry is moving away from this type of team and this type of, implementation of this DEI. But let me hear what you thought about it in the comment sections below. Next up, let's talk about PlayStation fans are hoping and praying that Gears of War ED is coming to the PlayStation 5. You see, just about a day ago, a number of different PlayStation fans have been posting Gears of War ED is coming to the PlayStation 5. Gears of War ED is coming to a PlayStation platform. Now, why were these ponies and jabronis posting these things up on their Twitter accounts? Well, it was all because of an ad that the coalition would have sent out there to the public asking for different skilled devs. But notice what it is had these ponies so excited. So good. This here is an ad of what the coalition would have posted. And if you look at the corner here, you will see what are some of the qualifications that the coalition would hope that any dev who is working on their game would have. Right? So if you look at preferred qualifications, they said experience with Xbox Live, PSN, Steam, or other online gaming platforms. So these PlayStation fans are jumping for joy. They are celebrating that here what? Gears of War ED is coming day and date to a PlayStation platform. The reason why they are saying that is because they are seeing this PSN name or word there. Why do the coalition need someone who is experienced in PSN? Wow, it's coming to PlayStation. It's coming to PlayStation, you Xbox.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Well, it seems that these guys are desperate, so they're looking for anything to see if they can get a win. But this is very clear what the coalition is asking. The coalition is asking for persons who are experienced in, a variety of gaming platforms, their online service. So it's very clear, having experience in other platforms, in other online networks would make the person applying for the job more noticeable by those who want to employ the different devs. But the ponies are out here thinking that because they see PSN, this game is coming to the PlayStation. But these tweeters basically said it better than I could ever said. Listen to what this tweeter said. Melee Damage tweeted, the advertisement mentions experience with Xbox Live, PSN, Steam, and other online gaming platforms. This type of wording is used across various jobs for the reason that if you have experience in A and skills are likely transferable to B. And this is sense, this is logical, this is sensible. But you know what? Let's not even take it from Melee Damage. Let's look at the actual dev and let's see what he said about this particular job listing. Look at this. The Turk tweeted in response to Zubitech saying, and this is where console warriors show their ignorance. As a senior engineer, like the one posted, it's important to have a knowledge of these systems. If a company is going to drop over 200k plus benefits on you, they expect you to know it. I have knowledge of various hardware platforms, architectures, and ecosystems, and I work in one area. It makes me far more valuable as an employee. So there you have it. An actual dev is explaining to you ponies, and you guys are so desperate at this point in time. You guys are getting Horizon Lego. You guys are getting Astrobot for the next half of the year, and you guys are desperate for any kind of good news, any kind of win, and this is what you guys are resorting to. Port begging for games that you guys said that were no good a couple of years ago. Now all of a sudden it's good. Now all of a sudden these games are coming to PlayStation.
This is a sickness. It is deviant, therefore we don't want it.
Yes, they are sick, very sick in the head. So let me hear what you thought about everything that has been said. Do you believe, ponies, that Gears of War ED is going to drop on PlayStation day and date? Or do you guys think that these guys are so desperate, they are hoping and praying for some sort of good game coming to their platform? Let me know in the comment sections below. Don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.